The Champions League is nearly back, with Liverpool set to face Ajax, FC Midtjylland and Atalanta in the group stages. So who better to get the lowdown on two of those opponents, Liverpool's first test Ajax and Danish side Midtjylland, than Thomas Gronnemark, the Reds throwing coach, who's worked with both teams in the past. It's also the ideal time to catch up with the work that Thomas is currently doing with Jurgen Klopp, Pep Lijnders, Peter Krawietz and the rest of the Liverpool backroom team. Plus, get the thoughts of Thomas on some suggestions put forward by Arsene Wenger and FIFA regarding rule changes to football, including throw-ins, going forward. I'm Matt Addison, and welcome to the latest Blood Red podcast as I speak to Liverpool's throwing coach, Thomas Gronnemark.
This is the Blood Red podcast from the Liverpool Echo.
Thomas, we'll start then with the job. Obviously, you've worked with Liverpool for a couple of years. Tell us a little bit about your role day to day. What is it that you do? Do you sort of take the sessions on your own, or is it sort of part of a wider session with the rest of the staff at Liverpool?
You can say I'm taking my sessions on my own, but it's a part of the normal session. So sometimes it's a small group with the fullbacks, but most of the times it's all the players. It could be 2 groups of 9. It could be 5 versus 5 interval game. It could be 11 versus 11 on a big pitch with throw-ins and focus on my throw-in tools. So, but that's my job on the pitch. And then I'm also analyzing every match on video. So I'm getting the attacking, the defending throw-ins from all the matches, and then I'm sending a video analysis back to Jurgen and the other coaches. So, and then how much am I working on the pitch? At the last 2 seasons, I had 5 visits, and a visit for me to a club is normally 2 or 3 or 4 training days. So, and it's not like I'm coaching or training 90 minutes per session. I'm having normally 30 to 45 minutes at least when I've been at a club for some while. So I'm not there every week. So, but I'm looking at the throw-ins every week. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as I understand it, it's kind of you are a throw-in coach, but I suppose there's similar sort of principles can be applied to other things as well. It's not just throw-ins that you can improve, because I suppose it's fairly similar, for example, with a corner, for example, as well.
Yeah, you can say I'm coaching the throw-ins all around the pitch, and you can like take throw-ins and divide them into 2 different things. Either the long throw-in, where you try to score some goals after a long throw-in situation, or what I'm calling the fast and clever throw-ins. That's throw-ins all around the pitch, where we try to first of all keep possession, but also create chances and score goals after this situation. And if we're looking at Liverpool FC, we're not really using the long throw-in as a set-piece weapon. But still, I have been coaching long throw-ins with the players, because the longer throw-in, you have the greater throw-in area, you have 2, and then it's easier to find more teammates on the pitch. So, but my main focus is the fast and clever throw-ins in Liverpool FC. So yes, there are a lot of things you can learn all around the pitch in many different areas, and you can also get inspiration to other things too. So yeah.
I'm sure you get often asked about Jurgen Klopp and what it's like to work with him, but I'm interested as well about the other members of staff, Pep Lijnders and Peter Krawietz and people like that. How does it all work together? Because there's a lot of people there working as coaches. How does it all sort of mesh together and work as one?
I think it's actually the same as any other, normal company or workplace, because can you get a different mixture of different personalities? Are people having like certain jobs and skills and expert skills that they can use, and are people really good at sharing knowledge and helping each other? Then you have a really fantastic workplace. And it doesn't matter if it's a sales company or a football club, or you're having an ice cream store. If you can get all these things together, you'll build a fantastic workplace. And that's the way I feel it in Liverpool FC too, because people are different with personalities, with skills and everything. And I'm just feeling that in Liverpool FC, people are getting the best out of each other. So that's the most I can say about that. So So I'm every time I'm visiting Melwood and together with the staff and the players, it's just fantastic. I'm also a motivational speaker and been making over 500 talks for different companies. And so I think I know a lot about work joy and motivation. I've also been writing a book called Lazy Energy, a bestseller here in Denmark. So, and I can just say that it's a fantastic work environment in Liverpool FC. People are friendly, people are helping each other, people are sharing knowledge, people are open-minded. So that's some of the things that's really important when you want to have a fantastic workplace. So all in all, I'm really happy at working at Liverpool FC.
And when you first came into the club, did the players sort of take to your ideas straight away? They were, as you say, very sort of open and willing to learn, because we've seen a lot of criticism almost of a throwing coach, but I suppose the players and the staff there must see it the other way around as a real benefit.
Yeah, first of all, I'll say I don't think there's been a lot of criticism. There have been some criticism by a few people who were pretty known as experts, who really didn't know anything about throw-ins. And you can say that the internet answered back again to them. I didn't really have to say so much. So, yeah, they were called dinosaurs and things like that. And then there have been some criticism from fans from rival teams. And, yeah, of course, you know that they are almost always criticizing at least some of them. I'll say a big part of the football world, both experts, pundits, also rival fans, and coaches, trainers, have been really positive, and it's like really going up with the respect for the importance of throw-ins and throw-in coaching. But again, back to Liverpool FC, I think one of the most important things when we want to be motivated as people is finding the why. Why is this important? Because if we don't feel or think it's important, then it's really hard to be motivated. So that was the first thing I started with when I had my first training session in the mid of July 2018. I said to the players that there are normally between 40 and 60 throw-ins in a match. Most teams are losing the ball in more than 50% of the occasions when they have a throw-in under pressure where all the players are marked. If you had the same percentage with your feet, you'll only be playing Sunday League football. That was it, because, yeah. And then also said to the players, I'm not going to make you into Stoke number 2. With that, I meant we're not going to do a lot of long throw-ins towards the opponent's goals. And then after me, Jurgen Klopp said that, yeah, this is Thomas. He's a throw-in coach. I know it's a special job, but we were really bad at the throw-ins. That's really something we can improve. And Jurgen Klopp said, I'm 100% sure that Thomas can help us improve our throw-in so it can be a strength instead of a vulnerability. So that took perhaps 1.5, 2 minutes. And when you, as a player, have heard these things, you are more motivated. Of course, if you're asking players, would you rather throw with your hands or play with your feet, they'll always say play with your feet. But again, you have to take throw-ins in a football match. That's one thing. And also when I'm doing exercises, also with passes and scoring goals and so, because actually the biggest part of my exercise is how to create space when we have a throw-in under pressure. So it in many ways it looks a lot like normal football training. It's just because I have some knowledge around why or how can we create that space so we can keep possession, create and score goals. I'm working with 3 zones and 40 to 50 throw-in tools that are different from zone to zone. So I have some knowledge that no one else have in the world. So I think that the players are really motivated and want to learn more. And of course, like Liverpool, who went from the season before I came from number 18 in the Premier League on throw-ins under pressure with a possession of 45.4%. And my first season, we together improved up to 68.4% and went to number 1 in the Premier League. When you can see that improvement, also read it, then of course you're being motivated. And when you're then at the same time also first are winning the Champions League and then afterwards the Premier League after 30 years of waiting time, of course you feel it's important. I know that it's not all about throw-ins, but I still think that if I should say how many percentages is throw-ins in the general performance, I'll say it means perhaps 5 or 10%. So that's a lot of percentage you can push one or the other way, especially in a Premier League where all the teams are so close. So yeah. So back to your question, I think that the players are pretty motivated.
Yeah, absolutely. You extended your contract, of course, with Liverpool during the summer for another season. Was that an easy decision for you to make then?
Yeah, if you're looking at what we've done together with the throw-ins, me, the staff, the players, then it was an easy decision also with the wrestlers. But it's also important for me to say that I'm a freelance throwing coach, and I'm also been having requests from rival teams too. And I can if I want, I can coach other teams also in the Premier League if I want to, unless I have an exclusive contract with a club. I have no exclusive contract with Liverpool FC, so you can say it's my own decision. So the first couple of years I've been saying I won't coach rival teams to Liverpool in the Premier League because I'm a freelance coach, but it's also like Corona is affecting me like everyone else. I also have to earn some money to get food on the table for my family. So right now I'm not coaching any rival teams to Liverpool. So yeah, but let's see. I'm a freelance coach. I'm coaching all around the world. I'm also in other countries than England. So yeah, let's see what the future brings. But again, I'm happy in Liverpool. I think it's fantastic to be in the club.
You mentioned before the sort of impact that you think throw-ins could have, maybe 5 or 10% difference in a match. Is there a specific way that you can quantify and work out the actual difference that you've made? Do you track, for example, how many goals are scored from throw-ins or anything like that?
Yeah, we again earlier I mentioned the percentage in possession, the difference we made, and it's really important to say it's not my numbers. That was numbers from Tifo Football, like unattached analysis. Last season we scored 14 goals after throw-in situations all around the pitch, so also from our own penalty area, and no one was long throw-ins towards the opponent's goal. So it's all about creating space and scoring goals. But again, I'll just say that I'm working with what's working on the pitch because I have this experience. I've been sitting, analyzing throw-ins since 2004, working with it every day. So I have a certain kind of knowledge where I'm like looking at what's important. And it's really important also to say that my background is, of course, I've been doing analyzed thousands of games with throw-ins, but my background is the pitch, and you can say I've been playing football myself for many years. So I'm looking at what's working, and also the way I'm doing analysis is not the way a lot of data guys are doing it, because I've seen some data people who are saying, okay, let's just analyze all throw-ins and possession. But if you're doing that, there are some teams which opponents are standing way back, and they're having a lot of easy throw-ins, and if you count them in, then you'll not get the right picture, because it doesn't matter if the opponent is 30 meters away. It's an easy possession. It doesn't learn you anything. There are also someone who are like measuring on, do we hit our teammate with the first throw like normal passing percentages. But hey, if you're throwing to your teammate in the chest or at the hip, there's probably a big chance of losing the ball. So you have to look instead of, are you making a precise throw into the feet, what you have to do in most cases. So, and then there are also some who are looking at, a possession is where you get, let's say, 4 passes. If you have 4 passes, it's a possession for you. But hey, again, you can have 4 passes and still be in a high pressure zone, then lose the ball. So for me, when I'm measuring possession, it's about when do we play out of the pressure. So that's for me the most important thing. And of course, sometimes it's just really easy to see we played out of pressure, and sometimes it's really easy to see we lost the ball, and then there is a gray zone. Did we lose it? Did we keep it? How long? Because sometimes you can also have 17 duels in a row, and who had the ball. So, but I try to be as objective as possible. But because of my many years of experience, I know what works. So for me, it's all about raising the players' throwing intelligence. First of all, creating space for each other, making the fullback take good decisions, and and then like use that created space to again keep possession, create chances, score goals. So for me, it's like I heard a little bit about Arsene Wenger want to put kick-ins in instead of throw-ins, and that's a really, really, really big mistake. I've also been writing that on social media here the last days, and some people might think, oh, it's because if there are no throw-ins, you have no job. No, that's not the case, because time has shown that I've been having many different jobs, and always finding a way to make innovation, like it's been doing here with the throw-ins. But the challenge is that if we're having kick-ins instead, first of all, we're losing a lot of pressure situations on the throw-ins. And the second thing is that if you don't have any pressure, you can't create like innovative space creation. So, and I'm having a lot of inspiration from basketball. And imagine if there was no pressure and space creation there, it would just be boring. And if you're having the kick-in, there have been some trials early on that it just, first of all, often goes in a lot of long kicks. That's one thing. But the other thing is also, if you're having kick-ins, you'll have less pressure, because then you'll have the 9-meter rule that you have to be away from the goal. And the kick-ins will be a little bit like kick-ins in futsal, that it's just totally boring. It's like first pass is free. And perhaps you don't lose the ball then, but it'll just take a lot of situations away from football, where you can have excitement, space creation, duels, and everything, and that's what we love in football. And throw-ins can also be fast. The big challenge is now that that coaches and players don't have enough knowledge around how can we create space, and that's what I want to change in the football world. So yeah, I talked a lot. But I think we should keep throw-ins.
Yeah, no, that is something I was going to ask you about, actually. Just a final question then, before we move on to the Champions League group and the teams that Liverpool are going to play. I mean, just at the moment, obviously, there's no fans in stadiums. We've seen a lot more goals in the Premier League. Maybe defences are switching off and not concentrating as much as they should be. Is that a consideration for you in terms of throw-ins? Have you maybe seen an opportunity there to maybe use that a little bit and try and catch teams out in any way?
No, I just continue with the normal things we are doing, because the things I know is working, they're also working now, no matter what. So there's not been a real change. I think the biggest change to all the goals is that, of course, there are no spectators, but I think it's mostly because there's not so much time to train. Because of the many matches, there are, I think, I haven't measured, but I think there are more injuries because of the many games. And then we also have some players who are out with the coronavirus, and it gives a lot of instability to different teams. And we know no matter what team it is, instability is not good for the performance. Of course, it's more cool that we have more goals than less goals. So even though we had the 7-2, I'll say that it's more fun to watch a 4-3 than a 1-0. That's the way it is. So So as long we can, I think that the team can have a general good performance. I can live with more goals. Of course, I'm not sure if John, the goalkeeper coach, can. So, but we have to ask him. But you know, it's football is entertainment, and that's what I want to bring with my throw-ins. And it's a little bit special for me because I could easily now, I'm also writing on a book about throw-ins. I could easily now publish in 1 month, and then I'm giving my secrets to the whole world. And there are so many people who are interested from all the world. But I also know that then, for example, Liverpool FC won't have this advantage compared to others. So I'm also looking at when do I have to publish. But you can be 100% sure when I'm publishing my book, there'll be the football game and the world will improve, because then the knowledge can come out to not only all professional teams but also amateur and youth coaches all around the world. Because it's actually, if you have the knowledge, it's pretty easy to put into a team with improved throw-ins. But the challenge is that, the coaches are lacking knowledge. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. Let's quickly move on to the Champions League. Then Liverpool, of course, in a group with Ajax, FC Midtjylland and Atalanta as well. The first two of those clubs, as well as Liverpool, you've worked with closely. I mean, let's start with Ajax then. Obviously, a big European name. What can Liverpool expect when they come up against Ajax?
I'll say that Ajax is a really exciting team. No matter when you play Ajax, you can be 100% sure that there, first of all, there are a lot of young players there. And first of all, they're playing with an exciting playing style. It's fun to watch, like optimistic, forward-going, passing style. You can say, I think that the thing with Ajax is at the moment that Ajax is always a selling club, even though it's like historical, gigantic club and back to Cruyff and other things like the Champions League back in the days. And so, but I think it's really different from year to year. How strong is Ajax? Because if you look at the team 2 years ago when we won the Champions League, where Ajax went out in the semi-final against Tottenham, they had like, what a fantastic team. But since then, I haven't counted, but is it like 6, 7, 8 players, really, really, really good players who've been sold on to big clubs. So Ajax is still dangerous just because of the playing style. They have young, optimistic players. So I'll say that, of course, it's a fantastic team, Ajax, and I think Ajax are still one of the favorites to take one of the 2 spots to continue in the Champions League. I've coached them in the throw-ins the whole season last year, and it was like a full season contract with the same with Liverpool, with I think 5 visits and analysis of all games, and so I'm really looking forward to the games against Ajax. Yeah.
Would you say in any way the style of players is similar to Liverpool? I mean, there have been people who've said maybe it's 2, very attacking teams, but is there anything more than that tactically or stylistically that you think there are similarities between the teams?
No, well, first of all, I'll say I'm a throwing coach, and normally I'm saying I only know anything about throw-ins. I don't know anything about football, of course. That's because I want to specialize. Again, it's really important to say I've taken no football coaching education, and so what I'm saying now, it's only for my own. But if I have to look at it, perhaps Ajax are a little bit more like passing team. I know Liverpool is passing too, but if it's perhaps a mixture between Arsenal and Liverpool or so. Like, of course, they're also attacking, they're also on their way forward, but they're also doing a lot of these, I think, small passes. It's not a physical team, and even though Liverpool is not like seen as a gigantic physical team, they're probably more physical than Ajax. So I think that things like corners, they can be an advantage against Ajax, because we have some really strong hitters in our team. So But it'll be exciting to watch the Liverpool Ajax games.
Yeah, it should be a really good game. It's a big shame as well that Liverpool fans can't travel over to Holland, because it would have been a beautiful city for them to visit. But
Yeah.
I suppose you could say the same about FC Midtjylland as well. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. Obviously a team in your homeland of Denmark. A really interesting club actually in terms of analytics and data and that sort of thing. A very modern club. Again, what can Liverpool expect from them? I suppose they're a bit more of an unknown quantity.
Yeah, you can say it's, of course, they're the underdogs in this Group D. And they totally are, but what FC Midtjylland are really good at is set pieces, and they're also like innovative in many ways. I've been coaching. I already coached FC Midtjylland the first season in 2005-06 season, so like 15 years ago, and then I coached them again in 7-8 season, and then I was together with them last season, and then like 10 seasons back. So it's really many seasons. Not last seasons, but the 4 seasons before, FC Midtjylland scored 35 goals on the long throw-in. So it's mostly been the long throw-in I've been working with FC Midtjylland. So of course they're not so dangerous on the long throw-in after I left them, because it's also about who. Do you have the right throw? And the guy who assisted like 35 goals, he's moved to another club. So even though they're still a bit dangerous on long throw-ins, it's not so dangerous as it was earlier. So, but again, I'll say that it can be difficult to play against FC Midtjylland, because they're doing things, especially the set pieces, in innovative ways. But I still consider Liverpool FC to be a big favorite in both matches.
And obviously we know that you've worked with all 3 of those clubs. How does it work for you, obviously being a freelancer? Do you speak to all 3 clubs and give them the lowdown on each of them? And how does that sort of dynamic work? Because I suppose you'll have a little bit of inside knowledge from all 3 of those teams that are going to face each other.
You can say at the moment I'm only coaching Liverpool FC. So other people has also asked me. I just had a visit from the UEFA Champions League show official here with 300 million viewers. So it's been sending out now. They ask me the same. Who is my favorite team? I'm saying I'm always cheering for the team I'm coaching now. And at the moment it's only Liverpool FC I'm coaching. So first of all I'm cheering for Liverpool FC. It's all about relations. Who are you close to at the moment? But it's also only Liverpool FC I'm talking with. So I'm not saying or talking with FC Midtjylland or Ajax, because I'm not there. And if I had been there, of course I would have been only focusing on what we could do, for our own team, and not so much the competitors. So, but that's the challenge with me as a freelancer, because if I had a 5-year contract with Liverpool and only had one club, of course it's been like a wall between me and any other teams, and so. But of course, when I'm a freelancer, it's I'm also coaching other teams, and it's just like a total coincidence that I've been coaching 3 clubs in the same group. So it's like a crazy story. If you asked me as a kid if I would coach a Champions League team, I'll probably say, "Whoa, no, never." And especially with 3 teams in the same group. So yeah, I'm only speaking with Liverpool FC. So right now. So yeah.
And Liverpool, then, you think Liverpool are the favourites to go through? Who do you think might join them potentially in the next round?
Oh, it's really hard. Of course, Liverpool FC are the favourites. I think it's pretty clear. But I also think that Atalanta is really, really dangerous team, because they're also playing like a really attacking style of football. They're almost never doing a 0-0 or 1-0 or. So it's always like 5-2 or 4-3 or 6-1 or so it's just entertaining. So that's the kind of football we want to watch. And even though goalkeepers and goalkeeper coaches love clean sheets. Again, I'll rather have a 5-2 than a 1-0. So I think this Group D will be like dynamite. I think there can be certain times in a match where players or teams are standing a little bit low because of tactics or strategy. But in general, I think we'll have a firework of a group. So, of course, Liverpool are the favorites. We have to be as defending English champions and Champions League winners the season before again. So, but yeah, I expect that Liverpool, Atalanta, and Ajax will decide the two spots on in the Champions League between them. You can never say never with FC Midtjylland, and you can also say if there should be one underdog with the size of Midtjylland who should go on, it could be FC Midtjylland because they're having a really innovative approach. So I'm just looking forward to 12 games where I've coached at least one team in every game. So that's totally crazy. So it'll be totally cool.
Yeah, it could be a really, really good group. Plenty of goals, I think, in that. Great stuff from you, Thomas. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will let you go now and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Cheers.